This video is going to be controversial, but I'm going to show you why $1 million ads that scale extremely well, break the rules and the usual UGC and ad creative frameworks you see people preach on Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. And at the end, I'm going to show you the ad concepts that actually work in 2025. My team and I have created and analyzed thousands of ads, from which many scale to 6 and 7 figures. And here's what the ads that scale to $1 million have in common. They break the rules. They don't follow the usual ad framework. They don't follow what others are preaching on social media that you should do with the ads. The actual ads that scale to millions of dollars, they break the rules. They don't follow the usual frameworks. I'm Jacob and I run 10x ROAS, which is a leading creative agency creating thousands of ads and helping brands scale with performance-driven ads. For years, we all follow the same problem-solution framework. You start with a hook, you are trying to catch people's attention, you show something unexpected, or you call out their problem that you are then going to communicate in the rest of the video. Then you speak about the actual problem, you agitate the problem so you make it sound really important to solve. Then you bring the solution, which is the product. So the product is the solution that you then communicate to their problem. You add some social proof, which is either media that spoke about you, some articles, or it is actual customers or reviews on your website. And then you end with a call to action where you really tell people to go and try it or go purchase the product, and you send them to the landing page. And that framework worked very well, and it still works nowadays, but it doesn't work for all the brands, and it's not the concept and the framework that scales $1 million ads. Here's why. Today, your ads are not competing against other ads. They are actually competing against all of the content on social media. So they are up against cat videos, celebrity drama, and that one guy making giant pancakes on TikTok. That content is what you're competing against. And it's very difficult to stand out with really salesy ads. So let's take a look at what is working right now. The two concepts that I like the most that have been proven to work for us, and we like to do even more coming in 2025, is the comedy skit and is the podcast style ad. So let's watch both of them, and we are going to analyze them, why they work, and how you can replicate this winning style.
Morning, Buttercup.
It's 8 a.m.
Been up since 6. Now I'm just kettling this bell.
How do you have this much energy?
It's called Rise, bro. It's an app that tracks your sleep debt.
Sleep debt?
You just answer a couple questions, and Rise tells you when to wake up, when to go to sleep, and what time you do your best work.
How is an app supposed to help with your sleep?
It's just science, bro.
Oh, sorry.
Yep. Benefits of good sleep can really speak for themselves. It can improve your energy, reduce your anxiety, and improve your mood.
Wow, you said it's called Rise. I'll get it. I could use the help with my sleep.
Yeah, I could really use some help here, too.
Yeah, right?
Please help me.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So let's start with the comedy skit ad first. What you could see is how brands are winning in 2025 with their concepts, and they are making people laugh while seamlessly integrating and showcasing their product. So in this case, it was a mobile app, so it was not a physical product, but you could see how it was integrated into the comedy skit. And think of it as a TikTok video that your friend would send you, but with the sneaky product integration. So you don't want to have a funny video without the product, because then you're spending money on something and hoping for a brand awareness or something, but it doesn't really lead to sales directly. And you also don't want to have super product focused ad that no one would send to a friend. So you want to find a balance between the comedy part and the funny part of it, while showcasing and communicating the product, getting people to click on the ad, learn more about the product, but making it an ad that someone would share with a friend. So that's the main part. That's the skill with the comedy skit ad. Here are the main benefits and things you should focus on with the comedy skit ad. The number one, it works very well because it uses humor to highlight a relatable pain point. So something that people struggle with, the comedy skit ad has the humor to showcase it. So it's not like pushing you. It's not like your mom telling you that, hey, like you are overweight, you need to lose weight or something. It is the funny aspect of it that makes it very relatable and funny. The second part is it feels like an organic TikTok or IG reel. So it is very shareable. It is something that even though you know it's an ad, you would send to a friend. You would just tell them like skip the, or like forget the ad part, like don't buy the product, but this video itself is just funny. Watch it. That is the comedy skit ad that's ideal for performance. And it doesn't feel forced. So you don't want to be funny and trying to be too funny. And you want to make sure the product placement is smooth. So it's not like you have the funny part, the first 5 seconds, and then it switches to completely sales focused ad. The main thing to keep in mind with comedy skit ad is people share it, they tag their friends. That's your goal. And it needs to communicate the product so it can lead to sales. And let's take a look at number 2, which is the podcast style ad. And this concept is really great if you're selling a premium product that's higher priced or something that requires a little more trust. So let's take a look at an example, and then we're going to break down how you can replicate this style for your own brand.
You know, someone stopped me at work and asked me what perfume I was wearing.
What did you say?
Well, I said it is my secret weapon, the Essence Vault.
Ooh, okay, tell me more.
Everywhere I go, people stop me and ask me what fragrance I'm wearing.
You know what, I have noticed this. What's so special about it?
Not only does it start at £4.95. Yes!
Stop.
It's inspired by designer scents.
Yeah.
It's sold over 4 million bottles. So clearly, I'm not the only one who's obsessed.
Really? Yeah. Wait, what? Does it actually last? You know, is it one of those perfumes that you put on and then it fades after an hour?
No, it lasts all day. Like, I do a little spritz in the morning, just a little bit. And then by the evening, people are still asking me what I'm wearing. This is what you need.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is so good. Can I keep this?
Keep it. That's all yours.
So that was one way of doing the podcast style ad. And this one was a little bit more salesy. So that's one thing I would point out is this one was selling a little bit harder. It had the price point there, which I think is the main benefit, which is why they included it. And also it had a social proof with the reviews. But the entire concept it felt very natural. It felt like a normal conversation you would expect on a podcast. So the execution of the concept is done very well. And here are the main points, what you need to keep in mind when replicating the podcast style ad. Number 1 is it must feel like an organic conversation. So you don't want to have it too salesy, like you know, like when you're watching a podcast or listening to a podcast on audio, and you have this commercial break, and for 30 seconds to 60 seconds, you can obviously say that they are just trying to sell you a product and it's a promo. You don't want to have it that part. You want to have the organic part of the conversation captured in your ad. Number 2, it uses storytelling instead of a traditional pitch. So you don't want to go with like the main benefits and just putting it out there, or features primarily. Benefits are good if blended in within the concept. Features are probably something you will want to avoid, and you want to use storytelling instead. Don't just pitch the product. And the third point is it builds credibility with the host-guest dynamic. And so with that, one of the people that is kind of promoting the product or talking about the experience, it feels like they have the additional credibility. And you don't always need to show both, but it is always better if you have both the host and the guest in the video, because that also adds additional credibility to what you're saying. And this works extremely well for products that people need to believe in before they buy. So the products that are a little bit higher priced, or the products that need a little bit of convincing to make sure that people understand that it actually works and it's not a scam. For those products, the podcast style ad is very good. So think health supplements, SaaS tools, info products, consulting, like really any of the categories. So it's not one industry, but really something that needs more convincing and that added trust that people must have in the product before they purchase. The podcast style concept is really good for those. And now let's talk about why the formula works. People trust people. That's the nature of 2025. And a well-executed podcast style ad makes the audience feel like they are overhearing real advice and not a hard sell. So that way you have the sales part within it is people think, oh, like they are sharing an advice. They are sharing something they found last week that worked for them. And that's what they are sharing. People watching don't feel like, okay, that's the hard sell. They're trying to sell me a product. They are paid. They don't think of that. So it is what UGC was in 2021, 2022, 3. And nowadays it's not as trustworthy. Podcast style ads are still trustworthy. They have that element. It's like, oh, like this person probably knows what they're talking about. I'm going to listen to their advice. I'm going to give it a try. They're more likely to actually try products. Once you've got the killer ad creatives, you need to know if they are actually working. So let's take a look at how we can do that. First, start by analyzing the hook rate, which is impressions divided by 3-second views, and get the outcome or the output in the meta ad library in the percentage. So the hook rate should be a percentage. And if people don't stop to watch, they will not convert. And you always need a better opening in the ad. The rule of thumb there is 30 plus hook rate is good. 20 to 30 is okay, can be improved. anything under 20% is bad hook, needs to be improved. And we've done a lot of hooks that were 40, 50, 60 plus even. So that's achievable, but anything above 30, 40% is really great. And I recommend to test faster cuts, bold statements, unique visuals, and everything that will boost your hook rate. Just make sure that what you show in the hook, the first 3 seconds, is what they are gonna get more info on in the rest of the video. So you wanna make sure it's related to the actual video. The second is view through metrics. So it's 25, 50, 75, and 100%. And what that means is what percentage of people have watched at least 25, 50, 75, 100% of your video. So let's say your video is 60 seconds long, and let's say your view through metric of 50% is 20%. So that means 20% of people have watched at least 50% of the video, which is 30 seconds. And as they retain attention longer, they tend to perform better. And so if most viewers drop off before 50%, I would just consider tightening the pacing, so making it a little bit quicker, or just making the content more engaging so they stick watching longer. Last and probably most important is ad spend distribution. And Meta will automatically allocate more budget to winning ads because it tries to get you the best results. So I will pay close attention to which creatives are getting the highest spend, because Meta's algorithm is likely to spend more on ads that are working best. One important caveat here is what you consider being the best result, which is usually sales and most profitable sales, is not always what Meta considers best performance. So sometimes what happens is if the ads have great engagement, Meta will put more ad spend behind them, but they are not actually best at bringing new sales. So they don't have the best CPA, best ROAS. They are just great at engaging, and they might have even subpar ROAS or CPA. So that's what you need to keep in mind when reviewing the ads that get the most ad spend, and don't really just follow like the more they spend, the better they are. Also look at the actual CPA, ROAS, and business metrics to make a decision. And if you want to crush with ads in 2025, then you need to shift from the salesy ads that have been common in the last few years to more of a viral content type of ad. So here's the action plan I would recommend for watching this videos. Test a comedy skit, so pick a relatable problem, make it funny. Try a podcast style ad, so find a natural way to discuss your product in a conversation and just prepare a script for it. Make it a little bit more bullet points, or it can be a scripted word per word. Just make sure it comes out authentic. And the third point is track the right metrics, so hook rate, retention, spend allocation. That is what signals the success of the ad. And if you're spending over 10K a month on Meta ads and you need help scaling your business with better ad creative, just hit the link in the description and apply to work with us. And if not, I'm going to see you in the next video.